Have you ever actually stopped and thought about what happens when you send a message on an app like WhatsApp or Messenger? It just feels, well, instant, like it's magic. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the absolutely brilliant and surprisingly complex engineering that makes it all possible.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You type a message, you hit send, and boom, it appears on your friend's phone, maybe on the other side of the planet. It works when you're offline, it works on your laptop, it syncs across all your devices. So what is actually going on under the hood? Okay, so let's dive right in. The reason it's so easy to overlook the complexity is because these apps are designed to feel simple. But that beautiful, clean interface is basically hiding a mountain of really tough engineering challenges. They have to solve all of them just to give us that smooth experience we totally take for granted now.
And we're not talking about rare edge cases here. This is just everyday life for us, right? You're chatting on your computer and your phone at the same time. You walk into a subway tunnel and your connection drops. You type out a whole message about you're offline on a flight. A great chat app has to handle all of this, sometimes all at once, without you ever even noticing something went wrong.
So how in the world do they solve all of this? Well, the secret is this really fundamental shift in how the app is built. Instead of always having to talk to a faraway server for everything, a modern chat app is built to have its own local brain, right there on your device. This is a perfect way to picture that shift. Over on the left, you've got the old way of doing things. The user interface, what you see in tap, is constantly pinging a server. If your Wi-Fi hiccups for a second, the app just freezes up. But look at the right, the modern way. The UI talks to a local database first. This means your app is mostly dealing with data that's already stored on your phone, which makes it feel unbelievably fast and tough, even if your internet conks out.
And this is the component that makes it all happen, the client-side database. Seriously, the best way to think about it is as a local notebook. Your app just writes down everything, your messages, your conversations, even your drafts, into this little notebook on your device. That's exactly why you can open WhatsApp on an airplane and scroll through all your old chats. The data is already there.
Okay, so we've got this local brain on our device. Now, let's see how it makes sending a message feel so instantaneous. We're going to follow the journey of one single message, right from the moment you hit that send button.
This is where the real magic trick is. It's a technique, and it's called an optimistic update. The name says it all. The app is optimistic. It just assumes your message is going to send successfully, so it updates your screen immediately, before it even hears back from the server.
So here's how it breaks down. 1, you hit send. 2, instantly, before anything else, the message gets written into that local notebook. 3, it pops up on your screen with that little clock icon next to it. And only then, as step 4, does the app start talking to the server in the background to actually get it delivered. That's why it feels so fast. And of course, we can track that whole background journey with these icons we all know so well. That little clock means your app is trying to send it. 1 check mark, the server's got it. 2 gray check marks, it's been delivered to your friend's device. And the infamous 2 blue check marks, yep, that means they've actually seen it. And that red exclamation mark, well, that means something went wrong along the way.
And this just perfectly shows how deep this technical process has gotten into our culture, right? We've all said this or heard someone say it, but now you know exactly what it means. The server confirmed your friend's app got the message, and then their app turned around and told the server, hey, just so you know, the user looked at this. Pretty cool.
But what happens when things don't go perfectly? What about that red exclamation mark? That's where another piece of the puzzle comes in, called the message scheduler. You can think of it as a dispatch officer for your data. It manages all the outgoing messages, it automatically retries any that fail, and it makes sure everything gets sent reliably and in the right order. You don't even have to think about it.
All right, so that's the whole story of sending a message. But, a chat is a two-way street. What about the other side of it? How do you receive messages instantly without constantly having to pull down to refresh the app?
Well, the old way to do this was called polling. It's basically like a little kid in the back of a car just constantly asking, anything new? Anything new? Anything new? It works, but it's super inefficient and a huge battery drain. The modern way uses something called WebSockets. This opens up a constant two-way line of communication. So now the server doesn't wait to be asked. The second a message arrives for you, it just pushes it right down that open line, directly to your app. It's instant and it's way more efficient.
So we've got the big 3 pillars, right? The local brain, the optimistic updates, and the WebSockets. But the true genius of these apps is also found in all the other little, thoughtful engineering details that come together to make that experience feel, well, seamless. These right here are the unsung heroes, the things you feel but don't really see. Ever notice how you can scroll way up in a long chat and you stay in the exact same spot, even as older messages are loading in above you? That's carefully engineered. Or how about the emoji picker only loading when you tap the button? That saves battery and data. And of course, saving that super long message you were typing, even if you close the tab by mistake, that's our old friend the local notebook working for you again. It all adds up to an app that just works.
And that really is the main takeaway here. That feeling of simplicity in a chat app, it's a carefully constructed illusion. It's not simple because the problem is easy. It's simple because teams of engineers have obsessed over every single tiny detail, from how a message gets stored to how your scroll position is maintained, all to create an experience that feels effortless.
For there you have it, from the local database and optimistic updates to WebSockets, you now know the core blueprint for how modern real-time apps are built. The only question left is, with that knowledge, what incredible experience would you design?